Welcome back to Runecast, everybody. I thought we'd talk a little bit about runic numerology. So when we're thinking about runic numerology, we got to look at the three Aetts, or the three Aettir. And it's important to understand the differences between the Aettir and understand them numerologically in order to understand runic numerology. Runic numerology comes in handy and is very important when you're creating bind runes, or maybe magical words or incantations. The numerology is important, and as we'll see, with runic numerology, runes have several different layers of meaning. The numerology of some runic combinations also reveal influences of other runes via the numerology. And it's important to understand that our ancestors understood these symbols not only as letters or as the symbols of gods that created words, but they also understood them as numbers. For example, Fihu is 1, Uruz is 2, Therez is 3, Ansuz is 4, Raidho is 5, Kinaz is 6, Gibo is 7, Wunjo is 8, Hagalaz is 9, Nathiz is 10, Isa is 11, Yira is 12, Ithwaz is 13, Perthro is 14, Algiz is 15, Suelu is 16, Tiwaz is 17, Berkano is 18, Ahwaz is 19, Manaz is 20, Laguz is 21, Ingwaz is 22, Oath is 23, and Dag is, of course, 24. So, when we look at the cosmology of the three Aetts, I refer back to Freya's book. And she describes the cosmology of the north into three divisions or planes. The primal drive causes the ordered universe to come into existence. This is represented by the first Aett. So these are the cosmic forces that brought the universe into existence. Okay? Then we look at the second Aett. It's divided into two equal halves, okay? The summer and the winter solstices, and ends with Suelu. So it starts off with these four and ends with these four. And this Aett is the destructive forces, okay? And the conflict that occurs after the universe comes into existence. And then the final Aett, I love what she says here. So I'm just going to read right from the cosmology of the third Aett. This last Aett is the Aett of Tyr. It differs from the first two in a specific respect. Both the first and second Aett deal broadly with numinous beings, whereas the first Aett describes the gods and all other beings coming into existence, and the second Aett describes the necessary antagonistic forces. The third Aett gives an overview of the human condition. So when we look at those basic things and we look at the three Aetts, what are we looking at numerologically? Well, we also know that once we get to 10, this 1 and 0 also reduces to 1, 11 is 2, 12 is 3, Ithwaz is 4, Perthrogue is 5, Algiz is 6, and Sieg is 7. And we go here, 1 and 7 is 8, 9, 10, and then, which is also reduces to 1, 20 reduces to 2, Laguz reduces to 3, 4, 5, 6. So you kind of see it coming full circle here, whereas Ahwaz also relates to Fihu in some respect because it's the number 1, Manaz, Uruz, Laguz, Thurzas, Ingwas, Ansuz, Dag, Rad, Othala, Rad, and Dag, Kinas. You can see how they're kind of related. I put Gibo for 7, but you get the idea when we're looking at numbers and runes. I get them so much in my mind that when I think of 16, I automatically think of Sieg, or I think of 7 as Gibo. This is important when you're creating bind runes, and I'll show you why. Let's create a simple 2-rune bind rune. Okay, we want algies and we want balance. So we're going to make a bind rune with algies and Gibo. Okay? Sometimes in a bind rune I'll stylize it a little bit like that. So I'll have that one taller and then Gibo in the middle. So this is a bind rune using 2 runes. So since it uses 2 runes, it has an underlying magical foundation of Uruz, because Uruz is the 2nd rune. Then we're using runes numbers 15 for algies and number 7 for Gibo. Okay? So 1 and 5 is 6, and 7 of course is Gibo. So this is Kinaz, right? And Gibo. And when we put those 2 together, 6 and 7 equal 13, which 13 is Ihwas, and 1 and 3 are 4, right? 13 and 1 and 3 are 4, Ansuz. So we create a simple bind rune using just 2 runes, but look at the other runes that are in this working, okay? And when you want to create something magical, you want to make sure that it's balanced. So in this equation with 2 runes, we also want to make sure, okay, yes, it also has underpinnings of knowledge and balance. Of course, we're going for balance, right? But it also has strength and communication. So this is a really good bind rune. If we were to create this bind rune, it would give you strength. It has Uruz and it has Hithwas in it, but it also allows you to be open to knowledge and communication and balance. Of course, you wanted this balance, the equal gift and exchange. So this is a very powerful rune for someone who is looking to restore balance, awareness, and protection around themselves. It's going to be a strong bind rune. It's going to give you those attributes. But you can see with just 2 runes, we have several layers of other runes written into the equation. And that's what you got to take into consideration. You can't just throw a bunch of runes together and say, oh, I want a little bit of Suelu, I want a little bit of Dag. I also want to throw in some victory. Let's go with Tiwaz and mix them all together and see what you get. You want to make sure that these runes are also beneficial, the numerological aspects of the rest of the numerical equation that you've created here. And you take that all into context and you say, okay, yes, that is accomplishing my goal. That's what I want. Okay, it works. Maybe it doesn't work. So then you kind of got to go back to the drawing board. But it's important to be aware of the numerology when creating bind runes. So I hope you enjoyed that little tidbit. Please like, share, subscribe, share in the comments below. What are some of the other rune subjects that you're interested in? Let me know. I'd be glad to start a conversation about them. Thanks as always for watching.